Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Thomson Richard from Tarumanagara University. In advance, I would like to give my greatest gratitude to Dr. Ghazali and Professor Yusuf Dewin as my research supervisor, and also the IEEE Society who has given us this opportunity to present this paper in this conference. And I would also like to express my apologies that I couldn't physically join this conference. Today's paper topic is about management of raw material needs and safety stock based on data forecast and system dynamics modeling. The outline of this presentation will be categorized into 6 parts, which consist of introduction, data collection, methodology, result and discussion, conclusion, and references. Introduction. With the advancements of technology, science is also growing, especially in the industrial world. This can be seen in the application of special methods that are continuously being developed to increase productivity. One of them is production planning and inventory control, or PPIC. PPIC is a series of activities designed to increase accuracy in the implementation of the production processes in planning and controlling the inventory of raw materials. Several methods from PPIC includes data forecasting, material requirement planning or MRP, and safety stock calculation. Meanwhile, the system dynamics is a system in which variables can continue to change due to changes in inputs and interactions between elements in the system. Nowadays, the application of a system dynamics can be done with the help of a computer software, where applying simulation models on modern computers can provide the advantages and low cost, calculations on strong simulations, recognizing system behavior, evaluating policies, and knowing what is achieved through policy analysis. The subject of this research is XYZ Limited, which is a company engaged in discrete manufacturing that produces ceiling panels and lists using polyphenol chloride or PVC. The object to be studied in this research is a PVC type ceiling panel product with the dimensions of 400 times 20 cm times 0.8 centimeters. The case that occurred at XYZ Limited was the frequent occurrences of shortage of raw material stock in PVC resin, which causes the production processes to stop. This will certainly affect the decline in productivity and profitability obtained by the company. The occurrence of raw material stock shortage can be seen in the company historical data, which can be seen in the table on the slide. And it can be seen based on the slide. There is a shortage of PVC resin raw material stock due to the absence of safety stock and good material requirement planning. Therefore, it is necessary to have a safety stocks calculation so there's no stock out of raw materials for PVC resin and a good material requirement planning so that the companies can have a schedule where raw materials must be ordered. Modeling and simulation will also be carried out to compare the models before and after the improvement so it can be seen whether the productivity of the company increases or not. Therefore, based on the problem statement, the research objective of this paper is divided into 4 parts, which is first, using a variety of forecasting methods to determine the best method to forecast future demands. Second, calculate the safety stock of PVC resin to avoid the stock out condition of raw materials in PVC resin. Third, using a variety of material requirement planning methods to determine the best method to plan on raw material requirements of PVC resin. And fourth, verifying the comparison of increasing production profitability based on the simulation result of the system modeling. Literature review. These production planning and inventory control methods or the system dynamics approaches are very useful and versatile, which can be seen based on the previous studies that has been conducted before. For example, Oliveri et al. In 2020 used system dynamics to help analyze the interrelations factors that affect the performances of employees and create causal loop diagrams and stock flow diagrams to improve the average performance of a company. Nirmala et al. Used in 2021 used forecasting to analyze the sales pattern of liquid fertilizers product during the COVID-19 pandemic and compare the forecasting method that can produce the smallest error value in forecasting sales of the company. And the last example is Putri and Rosdi in 2020 used MRP to analyze the stock inventory of pesticide bottles for determining an effective ordering schedule based on safety stock calculation, and by using MRP method, able to improve the company on reducing the purchase orders of raw materials, and therefore the inventory became more stable. Next is the data collection of machinery and processing. XYZ Limited has 4 production lines of the machinery used in manufacturing the PVC ceiling panel. Each production line will be operated by 1 operator and 1 warehouse worker to help the operator to pack and move the finished product to the warehouse. Each production line consists of machinery that can be seen on the figure on the right. The bill of material of the product is divided into 2 levels, which can be seen on the slide, and based on an interview with the purchasing division of XYZ Limited, it is found that the only materials of PVC ceiling panels to encounter a shortage is PVC resin. This condition occurred because the production division did not make a safety stock for the PVC resin. Meanwhile, the other 2 main components, calcium carbonate and additive chemicals, undergo routine shipping by supplier. Next is the ordering and inventory cost of materials can be seen on the table in the slide. Methodology. The methodology is divided into two parts, preparation and data processing. The method used in the preparation phase of this research is a quantitative method, where this paper will be given the ratio composition of materials needed to create the product. The machine needed to process and transform the materials to become the finished product is also given. And then continued by using data processing. The method used to process the data collected includes forecasting, method requirement planning, and safety stock calculation. And lastly, a system dynamics modeling of the initial system and the proposed improvement system will be created using PowerSim software to verify the increased production profitability based on the simulation results. The methodology flowchart can be seen on the right side of the slide. Forecast verification. A comparison of the variation of the forecasting method will be carried out by comparing the smallest bias or mean error, mean absolute deviation, mean squared error, mean absolute percentage error to determine the best forecasting method to be used. And based on the verification using SPSS software, the best forecast method for the company's data plot is the additive decomposition method. Safety stock. Using a surface level of 90% and assuming that the sales fit a normal distribution, the z-score can be obtained by using the norm sin phi function in Microsoft Excel or the normal distribution table. The formula of safety stock can be seen in the slide. Next is the method requirement planning, or MRP, which will be conducted using 5 different approaches to find the best method to control the lot sizing, which includes economic order quantity, period order quantity, slot for lot, sale per mil, and least unit cost. Next is the system dynamics approach. System dynamics can be applied in the production system because this method could simplify the systemic and dynamic interdependencies necessary for intrinsically complex systems planning. The activity cycle diagram of the manufacturing system of XYZ Limited can be seen on the figure on the slide, where the ACD itself explains the cycle activity of each entity in the production system. In this case, the machinery used, which will be then combined to become the whole production system. Then there's appearance of idle because the workers have to wait for the materials needed so the machinery could continue to operate. Therefore, by having a safety stock and MRP calculations, the idle appearances could be eliminated or mitigated. Next is the causal loop diagram, or the CLD, where the causal loop diagram itself is a combination of the activity cycle diagram and the variables that could affect the outcome of productivity level and the income before tax of XYZ Limited. By using CLD, the causes and effect of each process in the system could be shown. The causal loop diagram of the initial system can be seen in the slide. Next is the stock flow diagram, or the SFD. By creating the CLD of the initial production system, a simulation of the stock flow diagram could be conducted by creating a formula of each variables in the SFD. And by using the SFD, the information about input and output of each activity could be provided. The stock flow diagram of the initial system can be seen in the slide. Result and discussion. Based on the forecasting verification done in the preparation phase, it is found that the best forecasting method for the data plot is the additive decomposition, which can be seen in the table on the slide. Next is the safety stock calculation, where by using the formula in the methodology section, the safety stock calculation could be conducted, where it is obtained the safety stock for XYZ Limited is around 2,649 kilograms of resin PVC. And after conducting method requirement planning using 5 different methods, a comparison of the variety of methods will be carried out by comparing the cheapest total cost to determine the best MRP method to be used. And based on the recap of the total cost result, it is found that the best MRP method to obtain optimal control is the silver mill and least unit cost method with a total cost of around $164 US. The suggested improvements in the system are by including the MRP calculation and safety stock in the system to mitigate or eliminate the occurrences of idle due to stock out of the materials needed, in this case, the PVC resin, to manufacture the product. In the absence of idle, productivity can increase because active work time also increases. This can be seen in the changes to the CLD of the system owned by XYZ Limited, where the CLD system that uses MRP can eliminate idle cost by waiting time due to stock out, and the cost of raw materials will be adjusted to the MRP that has been made. Therefore, the number of raw materials ordered will depend or be adjusted on the MRP calculation, so the remaining material stock of PVC resin also depends on the number of raw materials ordered and the level of productivity, which can be seen in the red area in the right side of the figure. And by using the MRP and safety stock calculation, the variable quantity of raw materials ordered is also added. The causal loop diagram of the suggested improvement on the system can be seen on the figure on the right side of the figure in the slide. And by changing the CLD on the system, the SFD, or the stock flow diagram of the system, will also change, which can be seen on the right figure on the slide. An example of the simulation usage can be seen in the following video. This is a stock flow diagram of the initial system, where, for example, we take the 8th period. The stock quantity is 0 because the occurrence of stockout happens, and therefore the total of raw materials inventory cost is also 0. Then, the formula of the total employee The formula of total employee and electricity cost can be seen in the slide, where the electricity cost itself is adjusted to the number of working days in that month. And next is the formula of raw materials resin cost. Then the income before tax could be obtained by using the formula on the video. After implementing the improvements, which is the MRP calculation and safety stock into the system, for example, we take the 6th period, where based on the MRP calculation on the 6th period, there isn't a need to purchase raw materials. Therefore, the quantity of raw materials ordered is 0. Then the order quantity and cost of raw materials also became 0. The stock quantity also changed not to become 0 because the safety stock calculation. Therefore, the total of raw materials inventory cost isn't 0. The total electricity cost formula is also still the same. And the raw material resin cost, because there isn't any raw materials ordered, became 0. Therefore, it will affect the income before tax of the XYZ Limited system. After creating the model of the initial and proposed system, a simulation will be conducted to determine the level of productivity of the initial system and the proposed system. A comparison will be made to compare the level of productivity on both systems, which can be seen in the table on the slide. And based on the simulation results, it can be seen that by using the suggested improvement to the system, the company experienced a loss in revenue in 7th and 10th periods. These occurrences happen in this period because the company will purchase the raw materials needed, or PVC resin, for the next period, even though the company suffered loss in 2 periods. But by using the suggested improvement on the system, the company will have an increase in the average level of productivity by 40%, or around 67,906, and an increase in average income before tax by 28%, or around $32,480. And this shows that by applying the material economic planning calculation and safety stock calculation, the company could obtain a significant increase in the level of productivity and income before tax. Conclusion. The case study that appeared that at XYZ Limited was the frequent occurrences of shortage of raw materials stock in PVC resin. And by using the MRP and safety stock calculation, these occurrences can be eliminated. The conclusion of this research is as follows. By using a variety of forecasting methods, the best method to forecast the future demands of XYZ Limited according to the company historical data plot is the additive decomposition method because it has the smallest error value. By using the safety stock formula, the safety stock is obtained is around 2,649.136 kilograms of PVC resin. And by using a variety of material requirement planning calculations method, the best MRP method are silver mill and lease unit cost because this method obtained the cheapest with the same result for a total cost of around $164. And by using the cheapest selected MRP method, the company could benefit significantly from cost savings. And by using the suggested improvements on the system, the company will have an increase in the average of level of productivity by 40% and an increase in average income before tax by 28%. This shows that by applying MRP and safety stock calculation, the company could obtain a significant increase in the average level of productivity and income before tax. The reference used in this research is as follows. And that reached the end of our presentation. Thank you for the time and attention, and I sincerely apologize if there's a mispronunciation or misspelling in my presentation. Thank you for listening and have a good day.